So the people who loved the first two of this new trilogy will understand that this was a woman who was committed to one idea, that Michael Myers would come back, and that she should be prepared for him. And no one would listen to her, and it was at the cost of her entire family. Her daughter wouldn't talk to her, granddaughter barely talked to her, people thought she was crazy. And then by the end of the second movie, this horrific night on Halloween night, 40 years after the 1978 movie, Michael has come back and he has wreaked havoc. And Laurie has suffered the ultimate loss, which is her daughter. And Laurie is just, I mean, it's hard to imagine how you would refer to that. This movie takes place 4 years later, and Laurie Strode has been given a chance at some mental help. She has been given some trauma therapy. She has been given grief counseling. And clearly, there is a moment where when people have suffered such horrific losses, there's really a choice of do I live or do I die? And if I'm going to live, I need to live openly. I must try to have a life. And at the beginning of the movie, we're meeting Laurie Strode 4 years after her daughter has been killed, very quietly trying to have a personal life. She lives with her granddaughter. Then we take her up that Hope Hill for just the beginning of the movie, and then, of course, Michael comes back, and all of that hope gets dashed. The reason I did the 2018 movie was because of the psychological state that they wrote her in. If she had been like, I don't know, working at a restaurant or something, and wasn't thinking, I was so impressed with the fact that they were honoring the trauma that had occurred in her life, that was a real result of what happens if you are attacked when you're 17 years old and you get no help. And I thought that gave her a lot of respect as a character. So yes, of course, it is my job to kind of receive Laurie at the moment she's in, and then try to work out psychologically, connect to the material and figure out what is my job to now convey that to you, the audience. You know, it's that weird thing, it's that weird alchemy that happens. It was very nice to see in the second movie all the legacy characters, Kyle Richards, Nancy Stevens, to reconnect that dot, you know. Oh, here we are now 40 years later, 41 years later. But the 2018 movie gave me a family. Laurie Strode never had a family. And David was so great at casting. He is great at casting. Because Judy Greer and Andi Matichak and I look like a family. We took a picture at the end of 2018 where I had bought them, I bought both girls the same striped kind of long t-shirt that I owned. And I gave it to them and we took a picture, and it's three tall women. We're all 5'7", 5'8". We're all thin, we're all angular. It was really interesting to look at us. And by giving me a family, it gave me a heart. It gave Laurie a big, fat, beating heart to work with as an actor. And I've stayed very close to those women. We lived together in the same house in Wilmington, and we've become a family, which is an unusual aspect of making a movie. I don't usually have that happen.